Questions for reflection. In our first reading from the 18th chapter of the book of Genesis, the Lord visits with Abraham by sending 3 angels. The word angel means messenger, one who speaks for the Lord. Angels are mentioned throughout the Hebrew Scriptures and the New Testament of the Bible. They're also found throughout the Christian tradition and in the teaching of the church. The public life, ministry, and words of Jesus Christ are filled with references to the angels. Even more present are the tales of their actions. They ministered to the Lord Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, where he suffered his anguish before the final act of selfless love at Calvary. They attended to him in the victory of the resurrection and announced the meaning of the event to his followers, who came to the empty tomb. In the earliest account of the New Testament Christian community, called the Acts of the Apostles, and in the letters to the early churches found after the gospel accounts in the New Testament, the presence and actions of the angels are everywhere. Finally, in the last book of the Bible, the book of Revelation, they're woven throughout the biblical text and in a very unique way. Their territoriality is explained and revealed. For example, there are angels delegated for each one of the early churches. If one were to remove the references to angels from the sacred texts of the Old and New Testament, not only would substantial amounts of the Bible be removed, but even more of its meaning would be lost due to the role, the very understanding that the existence of angels plays in the hermeneutic, the worldview that lies at the heart of the Christian revelation. These angels promise Abraham that Sarah, his 90-year-old wife, would bear a son by this time next year. Sarah, preparing food, overhears the promise and laughs. The response from the angels: nothing is impossible for God. The response for today's Holy Mass is taken from the Gospel of St. Luke. It is a portion of the Magnificat, Mary's hymn of praise. Unlike Sarah, when Mary was visited by an angel and given a promise, she did not laugh. She knew nothing is impossible for God. Where do we stand? Do we believe the Lord still sends his angels? Do we believe that nothing is impossible for God? In the gospel passage we heard today from St. Matthew, we are reminded of the faith response of the centurion. He is a Gentile, yet his true faith far exceeds the response of many Jews who are following Jesus. His faith drew forth this wonderful miracle of mercy. Jesus healed his servant. Jesus says, "In truth I tell you, in no one in Israel have I found faith as great as this." The words of this centurion have been integrated into every Mass. Before we come forward to receive the Lord, body, blood, soul, and divinity in the Holy Eucharist, we say, "Lord, I am not worthy that you should come under my roof. Only say the word, and my soul shall be healed." Let us ask the Lord to give us the grace to obey him and the faith to believe as the centurion believed.